host of the Gridiron.
Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live, if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link in the description box, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, another link just underneath it. Another link just directly underneath it. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,500 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, I guess what you can say is, a couple of things, right? Obviously, that saved the regime right here, shall we say, right? One on, I guess, on each. I mean, of course, I'm sure Daboll obviously had something to do with the draft class. He had some input. Shane was making the picks. But Daboll, had obviously, had some kind of input and all of that and everything. But, you can kind of say that on each side, right? Saving, really help saving the regimes. That way they're still around, right? Is Daboll being the coach of the year. Now, you just can't take that away. That was a couple of years ago, just a couple of years ago. It wasn't like in 1912 he was the coach of the year. And, no. He did some miraculous things with a salary cap strapped team. Didn't have a great roster. Didn't have much going for it. And he took us to the playoffs. Won a playoff game with Daniel Jones, not a lot of weapons and all that. We had Saquon, but being the coach of the year, right? That was huge. Then, of course, the other thing too, helping Shane out was this draft class right here. And as we've seen, throughout the course of the season, of course, as the season went on, and shocking. Injuries, and hard to believe. We're talking New York Giants and we're talking injuries. It's hard to believe, huh? Right? But injuries taking its toll on the draft class. But as we saw throughout the season, pretty good draft class. If we knew Tyrone Tracy, was going to be this good, he might have started all season long. I'm not putting him up there with Saquon. I'm not putting him up there with Henry or Jacobs or what I mean. But fifth round pick, he did pretty good. He's got good hands. If you can give him a hole, right? He can gain you some yardage. Where I like this, obviously, to see us get another running back. Yeah, absolutely. But we got Tracy as a starter, Newman's a starter, Phillips a starter, some guy by the name of Malik Nabers a starter, Theo Johnson starter, right? Muasau was starting toward the end, and a couple of games due to injury, right? But he won't be a starter, but it was a contributor, good time contributor. So as we saw as the season moved along, there wasn't much to get excited about, but this draft class, certainly one of them. Right? The Giants have a young team. This draft class got a lot of snaps, a lot of valuable experience, right, going forward. So hopefully, if we can keep developing them, which is huge, two things. One, we got them. They're ours. They're nobody else's. They're our players, right? Want to keep developing them, obviously. But then the problem comes is when it comes time to keeping them, right? And the Giants don't always seem to do that, with our players. So let's hope that we can, develop them and keep them. I mean, it just, it's like, oh yeah, you're 4 years up, all right. Well, have a good one. Good luck. It won't be with our team, So hopefully we can keep these guys. I just hate when you draft guys and then they wind up you just let them go. But thankfully PFF, right? The Giants, according to PFF, it's all going by here, right? I think the Giants were ranked 4th this season. Now a couple of other teams had really, really good, good drafts, right? So we got PFF's NFL draft rankings proves the 2024 class saved GM Joe Schoen. Now that was one, as I said, one of the things that, probably maybe one of the things that saved Shane was his draft class, and also Mr. Maurer was speaking about the fact that what they have in place, right? For the drafting and everything. He said it's the best he's ever seen. Right, so hopefully, if we can duplicate what we did last season once again this year, that would be huge. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into it now, but number 3's got to be a winner. Got to be a stone cold winner. I'm not saying the guy's be a Hall of Famer or not like that, but the guy better be good. Now, there's some players that can be pretty good. Okay, got to hit it out of the park with pick number 3. Got to hit it out of the park. That would be huge. That's huge. All right, so we got New York Giants made their fan base collective head explode when they retained head coach Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, despite a 3-14 season in which they missed out on earning the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 draft. Keeping Schoen in particular was a head scratcher. Schoen's first 2 drafts featured 18 picks, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, we're going to talk about those 18 picks coming up in just a couple minutes here. Things started to turn around for the Giants in 2024. Oddly enough, as every member of their 6-man 2024 NFL draft class appears to be either a quality starter or a high-end budding star, like Malik Nabers. Schoen may have saved his job by seemingly knocking it out of the park in 2024. And let's not forget also honorable mention Elijah Chapman, too. Now, he wasn't a draft pick, but they brought him in, right? And he got honorable mention as part of this draft class as well, too. So let's not forget about that. Pro Football Focus is very complimentary, which is complimentary, and from PFF and New York Giants just don't usually happen, okay? And rightfully so, right? So they're very complimentary of what Schoen did this offseason, giving him the number 4 overall draft class this year. The only ones ranked above him in this exercise was the Chargers, Commanders, and the Rams. Maybe Schoen still has some of his magic touch. We'll have to wait and see. Nabers was an obvious pick, as any GM could see his talent from space. Beyond that, Newman appears to be a long-term starter at safety, and Phillips will likely be locked in as the 2025 starter in the slot. Yep. Even if the Giants add some secondary talent around him. Even though Johnson caught only 28 passes, I thought it was 29, but maybe it was 28. The fact he emerged as a starting tight end as a rookie is a tremendous use of a 4th-round pick. Many teams will often light on fire. Tracy has been a revelation as the former college wide receiver tallied over 1,100. And was it the first 5 games of the season he wasn't even a starter? It was 5. Right? And he took Devin Singletary's starting job. U.S. South started 7 games and looked respectable. The question the Giants have to wrestle with is how much 2024 is representative of Schoen as a drafter. They're going to get more 2024 classes in the near future. Schoen is the right guy to lead them out of the doldrums. This was a fluke year, much like Joe Douglas with their crosstown rivals. The decision to bring him back will only look more foolish. Time will tell. The Giants had better hope there are a few more neighbor picks out there. And I said, because now you drafted number 3. And, well, I'll tell you what, number 3 better be knocked out of the park. The Giants wrapped up the worst season in franchise history earlier this month, finishing the year with a record of 3-14. There weren't many reasons for celebration or enthusiasm, but there are at least one small silver lining and a reason to be optimistic about the future: the 2024 NFL draft class and undrafted free agent signings. After 2 less than stellar drafts, General Manager Joe Schoen made the most of his 6 picks and did not have many picks. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, if he had the 6 picks and he only wound up taking, if he hit like 33%, if he only had 2 good guys, whew, wow. Not only did every rookie he selected contribute, but they all started at one point and are poised to play pivotal roles in the future. Now, with Musa, to be fair, he played because of injuries. But, hey, 6th-round pick, right? And he looked respectable out there. I'm not saying the guy was Ray Lewis or Harry Carson or Dick Butkus or nothing in the middle there. But, he was respectable. The man made some tackles, and you put the guy on special teams, too. You got to have guys like him, later-round picks that contribute, all right, that ain't going to cost you much. You can't pay everybody $25 million a year. Can't happen. You got to have the $25 million a year guys. Then you got to have the $1 and $2 million. You got to have them. Got to have them. Let's see. Pro Football Focus feels similarly optimistic about the Giants' 2024 rookie class, ranking them 4th overall. Nabers rated out 86.7. Andrew Phillips, 77.5. Tyler Nubin, 65.6. Tyrone Tracy, 58.4. Elijah Chapman, 58.9. And Darius Musa, 56.8. Not much went right for the Giants, but they can take solace in the fact that their rookie class could be part of their foundation moving forward. Malik Nabers is an ascending superstar after finishing his rookie season with more than 1,200 yards and 87.1 PFF receiving grade. 5th-round pick Tyrone Tracy was the team's leading rusher this season and forced 47 missed tackles combined as a runner and a receiver. Now, just imagine what he could do. We had some decent run blocking, but I mean, but a lot of it was, especially late on in the season, when guys just started going down left and right. Then you got guys, guys with a tackle going from one tackle to the other tackle, right? Our left guard who never missed like a snap in his whole freaking career. Of course, he gets injured, right? Our center winds up, he gets injured. We got a guard moving over there. Then we got somebody else sliding in. 10 different starting offensive lines. I mean, combinations. It's just crazy, right? If there's ever a time somewhere in the next 500 trillion years the Giants are allowed to stay healthy on the offensive line for a good portion of the season, and we get some cohesion going on. Just imagine what maybe Tracy could do. I'm not saying he's going to put up 2,000 yards. Don't get me that, but you could say, right? Defensively, the Giants found starting caliber players in slot cornerback Andrew Phillips and safety Tyler Nubin. Phillips led the team's qualified players with a 75.8 PFF coverage grade. Nubin contributed well in the box with a 76 PFF run defense grade. New York also got decent contributions from Elijah Chapman and Darius Musa as injuries piled up on their defensive front all season long. One strong draft doesn't make up for 2 subpar drafts, but at least it's a place to build for Schoen and company. Now, let's see here. Now, we got the top 10 rookie classes 2024. you got the Rams came in first. Now, one of the things with them is, for them, for the first time in a long time, since 2016, they actually had a first-round pick. They just kept trading away their first-round picks to get, veterans. That was one of the things I think really helped them. Obviously, was when they won the Super Bowl, right? They just were trading away draft picks, and they just collecting, players, good veteran players. But I think this is the first year, last 2024, in almost like 10 years, they had actually had a first-round pick. And they made him work out with Verse, Fisk, Kinchins, McCullough, Limmer, Spites. It had some good picks there. Jared Verse, I think he's the one that picked up the fumble, I believe it was, and ran it back for a touchdown. The Commanders, of course, I'm not going to put them. If it's not for Jaden Daniels, they had one guy graded out of 59, another one of 54, 51, a 51, and a 65. So, if not Jaden Daniels, it's not like they knocked that out of the park with all these other picks. The nice picks. But, if not for Jaden Daniels, Commanders would not be there. The Chargers. Because they drafted Alt, right? But then they took Ladd McConkey in the second round, who actually graded out higher than Alt. Then they had Tarheeb Still, cornerback. They took two cornerbacks. Cam Hart graded out of 58.6, and Tarheeb Still. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. He graded out of 75.2. So they had four nice players. But I said their second round pick, Ladd McConkey, I graded out of 84. So the Giants. The Giants had an 86, a 77, a 65, a 58, a 58, and a 56. And then of course, So fantastic, really, really good picks. Really, really good picks. Let's see here. Then number 5 overall was Tampa. Remember Bucky Irvins? He graded out a 90. He led the NFL rookies in rushing. But they had a nice class once again. One guy, Smith, a cornerback, graded out of 72. They had somebody else graded 62, a 60, and a 55. But it wasn't for Irving with a 90. But the Raiders, of course, were Brock Bowers. Then they had a guard graded out of 63, and a tackle graded out of 66 with Brock Bowers. Then you got the 49ers at number 7. They had a lot of guys. They had one guy, Dominic Pooney. I guess I hope I pronounced it right, 80.5, the guard. Then they got a bunch of guys. Pearsall, the guy who got shot. I believe that was the guy. Thankfully, he lived. They had a bunch of guys graded out of the 60. Somebody grew 63, a 64, 69, a 63, and a 60. So they had a nice, solid draft overall. And you figure, they picked late in the rounds, considering the year before that they went to the Super Bowl. So, they did a very good job. Number 8 was the Steelers. And then, let's see, let's go like number 10. Of course, was the Broncos, Bo Nix. Right? Nice. Wound up being, now, I guess, Peyton got his guy, right? But Bo Nix, graded out of 78 overall. Very solid. And they had they did very, very well too. They had a quarterback, Nix, right? They had 2 wide receivers, grade out very well, and they had 2 edge rushers, grade out very well. So, but overall, for the Giants, number 4 draft class, fantastic. I said, I said there was probably one thing for each guy that maybe kind of saved. I said Daboll, being the coach of the year, playoff appearance, playoff win, all that stuff and everything in year one that really helped him in this draft class here. Really helped Shane out.